When I was feeling at my low, I just couldn't see a way forward.
If you break your leg, it's pretty obvious you've broken your leg. If you've developed a level of psychosis, it's almost very difficult for people to understand why you've got to that position.
I've lost a few friends since they found out that I was diagnosed with it.
Mental illness can be isolating and debilitating, but we need to talk about it because it's more common than people think.
1 in 4 people here in Wales will experience mental illness. So even if you're not affected, it's likely that someone close to you will be.
2 years ago, Becky Jordan from Cardiff was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Since then, Becky has finished a master's degree and now she's a freelance journalist. But Becky had a tough time when she was first told she had a mental illness.
It was a bit of a shock, to be honest with you. You kind of think, well, is this really happening to me? Some people have stopped talking to me, but I've also gained some really good friends from, university, and also friends from support groups that I've been going to.
Not everyone in Wales gets that level of support. That's why the charity Havel wants laws on mental health care.
At the moment you do get, as you would in any sort of area, discrepancies between the quality of care plans. But if laid out in legislation, people have to adhere to what is written.
Plans for new mental health laws are currently going through the Welsh Assembly to try to improve access to services, and they're being supported by all the political parties. That legislation would have made a huge difference to Emma Lewis. Emma was diagnosed with antenatal and postnatal depression. Her relationship then broke down and she lost her home.
I had turned into pretty much a shell, physically and emotionally, of the person that I was. I didn't have any confidence in myself or my ability to do anything. And now, I'm not the old me. I'm an improvement on the old me because, I've learned from the experiences that I've had.
Emma's experiences were positive because she eventually asked for help and got it. For others, seeking that same support can be difficult. But making new laws and talking about mental health are steps in the right direction. If a picture paints 1,000 words, then this exhibition is a library on the link between health and housing. The paintings are by artists who use housing support services, and many of them have poor mental health.
For some people, the mental health issues predated the homelessness and were a contributory factor to becoming homeless. Other people, obviously, through the situation that they're in, where perhaps they're in an insecure accommodation or living on the street, mental health issues result from being in that situation.
Tony Rogers was married and living in Cwmbran, but when his mental health problems got worse, he lost his job, his family and his home. He told me that for the last 5 years he's been living on friends' sofas or in his car.
He was like living like an animal, and I suffer with depression, and I take my medication every day. I used to take extra because especially like you said, with the weather and all, make him feel more downer.
So this is your flat then? Thankfully, Tony is now in temporary accommodation and he's been told he'll soon have a permanent home.
It's like climbing Jacob's ladder for me, really. I'm sort of halfway up the ladder now.
But here in Wales, there's a shortage of supported housing for people like Tony. Latest figures show half the local authorities here don't have accommodation staffed 24 hours a day, and a third don't even have day-staffed accommodation. That's despite 1 in 4 tenants with mental health issues being in arrears because they can't cope with running a home. It's a problem Joe Malloy knows all too well. He supports people with mental health issues in Gwent.
Good housing is essential to have good mental health. When things start to go wrong, then we all begin to experience a change in our mental health, whether we call it stress or depression, or an exaggeration of existing mental ill health problems.
From the South Wales valleys to the North Wales coastline, patients are losing their homes while they're in hospital getting treatment for mental health problems. Some aren't given the right advice about benefits, while others find themselves homeless because their families can no longer cope.
There's a property going in Rill.
This service in Denbighshire helps people in that situation, and they say their work makes a real difference.
They're having their own views heard, and also sometimes just having somebody with you to maybe go and meet a landlord, it can give you such a confidence boost rather than feeling, well, you know, if I go and speak to somebody, it's highly unlikely that I'll have a chance, because they may be affected by stigma.
Projects like this are trying to paint a more positive picture of people with poor mental health, and it's hoped with that support, people like Tony will have a place to call home.
It's took a lot of the years of my life away, that, you know, through hospital admissions and not being well and not being a functional part of society.
Simon Wiglin's story is a common one. In the early 1990s, he started developing mental health problems, and as his condition got worse, it was harder for him to hold down a job. Figures show that poor mental health in the workplace costs businesses in Wales £1.2 billion a year, and fewer than 40% of employers in Britain would consider hiring someone with mental health problems. But if businesses support workers with initiatives like flexible hours, and if staff can talk openly about their problems, then people with poor mental health can work well.
Where employers have tried this, it's really paid off. They've been able to keep people in work. They've been beneficial to their business because they haven't had people off sick. They haven't had to sack people and recruit new people. So it's saved a lot of money.
That's £3 then, please, sir.
This cafe in Rill is run by the charity Mind Cymru, and all the staff here have had problems with their mental health.
Mind has given me an opportunity to learn a new skill. I love cooking, and it's been wonderful to help the public.
And you meet people and you make a lot of friends through customers, and you get to support each other every way you can.
I enjoy working. It just gets me out of the house and not sitting around doing nothing all day.
But not everyone gets the opportunity to work.
Only 19% of people in Wales with long-term mental illness are employed, but experts say work is good for mental health because it gives a sense of identity and financial stability.
Daniel Poole now works at a cash and carry in Bridgend. It's a job he loves, but the 22-year-old has struggled in the past.
I didn't really do anything before this. I had one job. It was only work experience, but they didn't really know about my condition, and I ended up having a big panic attack there, and that's when I knew I needed help.
Daniel then went to the charity Gofal Cymru. They supported him with his psychological issues and helped him get a work placement here, which led to a permanent job. His managers say he's now a real part of the team.
He's gained far more confidence than when he first came here. Obviously we've trained him up to do the roles that he's doing within the store, so that's given him confidence. And for us as a business, he's an excellent member of staff. Yeah, he's committed and he's always looking to strive for excellence.
And things are looking up for Simon as well. With the help of a charity, he started a volunteer window cleaning business, and now he's about to go professional.
I feel that I've been given an opportunity by Vale of Cleared Mind to do something that I wouldn't have been able to do without their help.
And whether it's securing a job, finding a home, or just getting people to understand, with a little help, everyone in Wales with mental health issues can achieve their goals. Marie-Claire Kerry-Jones, Wales Tonight.